Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page. My page is about common sense, but I try to keep it down under the nitty gritty under 10 minutes. And if it goes over 10 minutes, it's something very fucking important. And my videos are not important to far leftists, social justice warriors, people who believe in God, external gods without believing in themselves, people who are sensitive, people who are sticking to mud, people who don't like asking questions, people who smoke, people who drink. These things I am not, because I'm alpha. I am one of the rarest alphas on the internet, unique in my own way. I do not hide things or sugarcoat stuff. I don't break none of the YouTube policies. It's just that they read the transcript and they take it out of context, and they'll probably strike it down because they disagree. But because there's a lot of biased bitches on the YouTube and even TikToks and stuff like that. So I try my best to hold my tongue, but I'm trying to be as honest as possible. Okay. But anyway, I talk about things that most people don't talk about on the YouTube or anywhere else. So if you start seeing the trend as being maybe because of me, okay, because I talk about something that most guys don't talk about. People just in general don't talk about because I'm generational X. Like I said before, I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. A lot of people think I'm trolling or some shit, but I'm not. Check out my credentials down below and then get back to me with a question. But let's begin with the topic for today. I'm the only realist alpha with videos, so I don't really like doing the talking without showing you back up. Okay, with videos that I'm doing things like polygyny, virginity, seeking out women who do these things, and also testing things out and using psychoanalysis to understand women's generally in abroad again. Let's get on with the topic for today. Today's topic will be about why nerdy women don't really pursue nerdy men. Now, basically, this question came up about because I was just looking on the internet and I saw the word nerdy guys. Okay, and I'm like, there are tons of men out there who are still virgins. This is my fact. Even there's guys out there who want to be a beta alpha so much, but I tell them it's not worth it to be a beta alpha. It's better to just jump from beta, like a blue pill. Everybody's blue pill. Blue pill means innocence. It's best to be a blue pill and jump straight to emerald pill so you won't have to worry about getting hurt. When I have daughters, okay, since I have my daughters, she's about 8 years old. And since I'm a living prodigy of the things that I do by showing it on video, and this is my second daughter who's 4 years old, they're going to be cyber schooled because I'm not stupid. I know how this educational system is, and I'm doing everything legally. But and I have special abilities too because I'm indigo, so I'm just being honest. I don't really socialize with people who don't benefit me. But let's get on with the subject for today. Why nerdy girls don't really pursue, okay, or are interested in, okay, nerdy guys. If you look at the TV show called The Big Bang, okay, look at the one guy with the glasses, the main protagonist of the show. Notice how he's messing with Penny, okay? You know, obviously he's not supposed to mess with Penny, but he's drawn to her because of sexual attraction. This is a problem for a lot of beta males, okay? And I keep trying to teach the beta males are most likely going to be the geeky ones, the nerdy ones that save the guys for last, nice guys, yada, yada, yada. The things that the women want is in the beta males, but they're not trained enough to seek them out or even accept their approval or to be attracted because they're being brainwashed by the media. That's pretty much it. As I said before, romance is a learned trait for the beta males because they need romance from the beta males and even some beta alpha males, okay, in order to get aroused, okay? But as I said before, female psychology is not very hard, okay? And I try to tell men to beware of these Jezebel spirits, but, you know, it's still an ongoing thing. So many simps, so little time. But the reason why we have so many men who are alone, who are in the beta zone, okay, who are desperate, who's paying for their OnlyFans and watching a lot of porn and stuff like that, because a lot of times these guys don't have no kind of sex appeal or some kind of edge. They look average at best, and most women don't like average-looking males, okay, right? We know this is a fact, right? So when you got a bunch of guys who are doing the thing they're supposed to do, they're being Christian, they have no choice but to be a virgin. They're more likely to be an incel. They're most likely going to be complaining. So what they do, they take their time rather than complaining, and they keep themselves distracted. And I was one of these guys. Okay, and I was into Dungeons and Dragons. I'm into the Dungeon Master, being a Dungeon Master and all sorts of things, making up my own little terminologies and meticulous games. Okay, Hero Escape, Hero Quest. Okay, I like Video games, okay? Video games is just one of the things that guys like to do. Even sports. I'm a sports fanatic. I just basically go out there and play myself. I used to watch Jordan all of the time until they disbanded. Okay? I used to watch football all the time. Keep yourself distracted. That's if you're smart. Okay, keep yourself distracted, but you have no choice. These guys, these beta males, these educated, so-called nerdy, Steve Urkel type guys, usually are the ones rejected in society overall. Okay, so why don't the females be drawn, the nerdy type of females, be drawn to these guys? Now, let me make an into note here. There are still far more males who are average looking and more in shape than there are females who are nerdy looking and out of shape, okay? All right, so let me just make that real clear. When I'm on the basketball court, I see tons of nerdy guys, okay, playing basketball, even though they don't know how to play half the time, okay? All right? I see tons of nerdy guys when I walk in the store. I know tons of nerdy guys who still did not lose their virginity the proper way. They just run them with their heads cut off. They're desperate for sexual attention. They know how to treat a woman. They don't even need an education on how to do anything for a woman. They just do all of the romantic things. But society, when you got an average looking woman who's nerdy and you got an average looking male who's nerdy, that average looking woman will be brainwashed. So what's going to happen is that she's going to often reject the male. And I've tried this so many times. I'm nerdy looking, and I could be a little bit better than her. I'm a little bit taller than her, and I'm not the same size as these women I'm approaching. Okay, so these nerdy looking women I walk up on, and I say, "Hey, how you been?" They usually would tell me they have a boyfriend. Okay, right? And I'll be like, "Okay, so I could see a trend with smart women who think they're smart, but they're really not smart." So these females, tons of females, even when you get when a nerdy guy does have a relationship with a nerdy female, most of the time the male is too much. I'm too much. I'm doing too much. She's not going to be interested because she probably is not going to play games. She's probably going to have a psychological problem because I've encountered females who look nerdy, and I learned from them and said that I'm too much for her. And I'm like, she could do better than that, okay, right? She could play games too, but she might not want to play games. She might have a mental condition. And I say this all of the time. Everyone has a form of a mental condition. I have one. I'm schizo myself, but I ain't going to let that affect you. That's not going to affect you. My schizophrenia does not affect no one. As a matter of fact, mine's is special. It's more mature. I have control over mine. I have special abilities, baby. And I tell her this. I say, my schizo has nothing to do with you. If my Holy Spirit says something, you might have a problem with the Holy Spirit. If the Holy Spirit tells you to jump, you jump, okay? Because I have standards. And I will never settle for less. So when I talk to females, it will always be a female who's basically my number. If I'm a 7, the woman's going to be a 7 or even below, one number below. She's never going to be an 8. I do not talk to 8, 9s, and 10s because I am not an 8, 9, and 10. You have to be attracted to the opposite sex. I do not play games like that. Men are more aggressive when it comes to sexuality. Women are more aggressive passively when it comes down to materialism. Usually women will make great sacrifices for their sexual attraction for you for the materialism aspect. And that's wrong. That's really wrong. But I try to teach women all the time, you should not do that. If you're not sexually attracted to him, he's going to be drawn to you sexually. You know this. But when it comes down to compatibility issues, most of the time when you have a nerdy girl, okay, when I talk to tons of them, they're going to have some sort of psychological issue. Not like the males, okay? The males are usually interactive with different hobbies and sports, and they're also low maintenance. So what is the problems that I come across with nerdy females? Psychological issues, okay? Bipolarism that I can't handle, okay? Stressed from other guys. And on top of that, these females are not virgins. I'm usually friends with nerdy girls. I will never date a female who is not a virgin. Once she tells me she is not a virgin, she's charged. That is my standard for any female. I got tired of getting rejections, so I kind of look at it at, okay, I might as well have improvise. I have to improvise with females who are below my standards, right? So when you do meet a nerdy girl who's lost her, 9 times out of 10, nerdy girls are not virgins. They're not into gaming as hard as men are. You should know that fact. Everyone should know this fact. But there are women who complain that there's no good men, okay? This because they don't have the emotional intelligence. Not talking down on all women. Okay, all right? Just keeping it raw on YouTube. Now, other than that, that's all I really got to say. Okay, there are far more men who are virgins than there are women. Women are very much more shallower because women look at, when they're not attracted to you, they'll choose your money, okay? And that's a problem because they're the bigger pimps. No money, no honey, okay? And this is the thing that bad women, the Jezebel spirit, uses. And what is a beta female? There's a nerdy females. Nerdy females can be betas, but 9 times out of 10, if they're wearing makeup, they're really not really good people, okay? To me, if you're wearing makeup, you have a form of insecurity with yourself. Everyone has a form of insecurity, but you don't need to look prettier for other men. Just be yourself and be natural. I always say this to females. Do not put that makeup on. That's a complete turn off for alphas. They're not interested in that shit. Take off the fake hair. Listen to a little bit more Umar Johnson. Listen to more Kevin Simp Samuels. Rest in peace his soul. Listen to more men who give that image of an alpha. But they're not alpha though. Okay, trust me on that, because alphas don't mess with females who are, hit the road to cock carousel. If you already been on the street and you was a prostitute in your past, checking your past is very important. Checking your past is very important to alphas. Trust me on that. I will not settle for less. And I've talked to tons of women internationally that tried to lie, so they die. Okay, right? Other than that, I'm a good psychopath. Like the boys, okay, I usually tell you what's going to happen up front before it happens, and then you try to slip up and lie. Or not my problem. Not my problem. Okay, you got caught. Other than that, that's all I really got to say about why nerdy girls are not really, in tune or compatible with nerdy guys. Nerdy guys have too much on their plate. They are doing too much. And when a nerdy guy is playing his game, and she's on her phone playing a little Tetris-style game, not the hardcore games as men like to do, that's a problem. I teach my daughters to play different games. I said, do not just play one game, Zaza. Do not play with one game, Zaza, okay, because you ain't going to have good compatibility. And if you don't have good compatibility, you're going to have to share. Sharing is caring. Teach women about polygyny instead of polyandry. Okay, polyandry is what most women do passively. Polyandry is when one woman has multiple male partners. You don't want that. Okay, you don't want that. You don't want it. I will teach my daughters not to talk to a guy who's been around in the streets who's a whore. Obviously, it's going to be the same thing. She's going to have to talk to a guy who's already stable. She's going to have to talk to a guy who probably already have, like maybe one child, but it depends on his, my sacrifices. Okay, she has to get acknowledgement from me. Okay, she makes acknowledge. She tries to get approval for herself. She's going to fall. Women should never make choices for themselves especially if they're not educated in psychology or compatibility. Okay, it's a whole list of things that women needs to learn about men. And men are just low maintenance as possible. There's not a lot of hardship. The problem is that sometimes when that sexual energy dissipates or goes away, okay, it's usually the woman who made the mistake again. All right, most of the time. I'm just trying to tell you from my anecdotal therapeutic experiences from talking to hundreds of women. I'm sorry, guys. It's overall across the board. And you already know all this. Even women psychiatrists saying the same shit I'm saying. That their standards are superficial at best. And then it comes down to mostly money and then attraction. And then they have to have this. And then there's all this other unnecessary stuff. It has nothing to do with the cerebral cortex of the logical side. Nothing to do with it. It's all about what the Joneses are doing and what the Tom, Dicks, and Harrys are doing. Okay, because if a woman needs to socialize, that's going to destroy her image. But I digress here. I'm just trying to tell you the real reason why. I'm trying my best to hold my tongue and sugarcoat some things. But honestly, that's the truth. When the single mothers, I'm not talking about nerdy girls here, but women who are not nerdy deal with regular beta alpha males and get knocked up by them, then they blame all the men. And this is a problem, okay? This is a problem that's going to stop because there's tons of guys who are not being talked about in society. They get knocked up by the beta alpha males. And beta alpha males, again, are only 25% of the population because they're attractive. or they got a lot of money, or they're showing their goods, and they get trapped up in that, and they don't know how to see through that. There are men out there who use their materialism to get you, okay, and then you fall for it like a fool without. I mean, you get no approval from your father figure, okay. And, women will make mistakes like this, but the biggest type of female who makes the bigger type of mistakes is those females who refuse education. They don't want to learn how a man is. It don't take that much. But when women refuse to learn it and their hobbies, men does not care for the men's hobbies. And this is what makes them incompatible. Other than that, what am I going to say? What do you think I'm going to say next? If I'm saying anything fucking wrong to a liberal libertard or emotional beta male, okay, you write it down below. What do you think I'm going to say next? I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. Tessa is upset because I was telling her to be quiet. She gets emotional sometimes, Tessa. That's her mom's side. I don't know what to do with that. The only thing I can do is just try to not feed her or something, or lock her in a dark room or some shit, okay? What's the matter now? Hope she don't run away. Give her up for adoption because she don't want to pay. She wants a room. She keeps bugging me for a room. I said, you gotta wait, baby. You gotta wait for your own room, okay, Well, other than that, that's all I really gotta say, guys. I love you all, but I hate the many of you. I love animals more than humans, but I do not fuck the animals. I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. Peace.